You have Jamie Dimon, who runs basically one of the biggest banks in the world, and he's telling you this is not over, yet the markets are like, meh, it's over, no big deal, let's keep buying the S&P 500.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Guy from Coin Bureau and Gareth Soloway sharing their perspectives on the recent rally in Bitcoin, the instability of the banking system, and the potential impact of regulatory frameworks on the crypto market. Guy expresses bearish sentiments about the crypto industry, particularly in the US market, due to regulatory actions against stablecoin issuers and macroeconomic factors like high rates. In contrast, Gareth Soloway views Bitcoin's recent rally as gaining more credibility from the banking and fiat systems due to the instability of the traditional financial system. He believes that stablecoins need to earn 100% trust from the public to survive, and that regulatory clarity is necessary before he begins to invest heavily into crypto. Let's get right into the video with Guy from Coin Bureau and Gareth Soloway as they give their market outlook for the next few weeks. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It's a tremendous help for the growth of the channel and allows us to bring you more content just like this.
So 30,500 is the technical level, so it needs to stay for 5 to 7 days above that level, on a daily basis above that level.
How many days are we?
And then I think...
How many days are we now so far?
So far 0, right? So it resets every time it comes below. And then one of the reasons why this is so important, people say, well, why does it have to stay above for X amount of days? Because algorithms and institutions want you to think it's broken out. I've seen this on charts of stocks, commodities, crypto, where they're trying to get you to trigger long so that you buy and they can unload their position. So the longer it stays above, the harder it is for them to utilize capital to push it back down at a certain point in the future. So that's why it's important that it stays above for a certain amount of time. I do think Bitcoin still has a pullback coming that could be dramatic, and I do think gold is the best performer by year end. We'll see if I'm right. We got to have our live interview again end of year, and we'll decide on that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So again, you have Jamie Dimon, who runs basically one of the biggest banks in the world, and he's telling you this is not over, yet the markets are like, meh, it's over, no big deal, let's keep buying the S&P 500. But one of the things I would show people is look at the KRE. All right, if this is over, why is the KRE, which is the regional banking ETF, having literally no bounce here? I mean, this is, to me, a classic case of a bearish chart pattern, and that's got to be very concerning, the fact that the regionals still are not getting a bounce, especially when the government said, hey, we'll make sure that depositors don't lose money, all these things. You even got a bunch of the big banks to put a ton of money in FRC, and here we are. The banking ETF for the regionals is basically at its lows. So there are things cooking here that, to be honest, right now, I would be shocked if we have not dropped significantly within the next 3 months in this stock market, in the S&P, in the NASDAQ. I think, honestly, you have a series, right, where we just went through this period of 2020 of COVID all the way through 2021, almost to 2022, where the markets, and again, this goes back even 10 plus years prior, where we've always been in a market. We are kind of a drug-addicted market where we've always got new drugs from the Federal Reserve if there's any hardship, aka 2018, the Fed started to raise rates. Before you knew it, the market freaked and they were cutting rates. All right, so the market is kind of in this phase of, they say, hey, listen, even if it gets a little rough, we're going to be rescued. Everything is always about the government, the Federal Reserve rescuing us. So let's just keep going in. Why would we believe anything else? And you can't fault people for thinking that way. They've been conditioned to think that way. But to be honest, that was when inflation was lower than 2%. I'm skeptical that we're going to get the same sort of bailouts that we saw in the next period. And again, I do think that a recession will come and the market is not prepared for it. For me, I would expect by year end, maybe 3,300 on the S&P 500. Early 2024, you're talking 3,000, and eventually it could be even worse than that. But right now, let's stick with 3,300 and 3,000. To me, it's never going to be 100%. It's all a probabilities game, but there are signals in the charts. And again, one of the reasons the charts actually do tell you or guide you to the right direction that a move is coming is that they are a representation of human emotion, greed and fear. And so what you can start to do is look for the setups that essentially tell you that greed is topping out or fear is bottoming out, and ultimately go counter trend to that.
Now, Guy from Coin Bureau discusses the crypto market and the SEC's recent position on regulatory clarity. He also questions why there's no legal action being taken.
I think, I mean, you've got to hand it to Gary in one respect. I think he's become a master of, I guess, the politician's answer, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Without sort of saying one thing or another. And I mean, I was watching that particular bit, and my best guess is regarding, ETH and its security status or not security status. I reckon if he gives an answer one way or the other, then all that does is kind of lead him down a path, which him and the SEC down a path, which I guess it's kind of difficult to backtrack on. So, for instance, if he says, yes, we believe ETH to be a security, then surely the next question is, well, okay, why aren't you bringing legal action against, whoever it is, the Ethereum Foundation or Vitalik or, whoever? Why aren't you acting on it? So it's difficult for him to say yes, but I guess if he says no, then, well, I mean, he's under oath, isn't he? So he's kind of said that, and then it's, again, very, very difficult to get to go back on that. So, and I guess, if he says, well, we don't consider ETH to be a security, then where does that leave the status of everything else? I guess if he gives a straight answer, then he has to commit. Then there are so many questions that you can ask off the back of that. And obviously he's in front of Congress. Every word is being scrutinized. It's all been recorded. He's under oath, et cetera, et cetera. So I won't say I have sympathy for him in that respect, because I don't. But I guess, he was in a kind of tricky position whereby if he gave any sort of straight answer, that was only going to cause sort of more trouble for him and open up kind of more questions and stuff. Where does the SEC go from here? What's next? And are they going to go after every altcoin as a security? My guess would be no. I think they'll probably look to pick off some of the lower hanging fruit. And by that, I mean probably proof of stake cryptos that are more centralized than Ethereum, that it is easier to point to this third party. I would be really interested to know what the mood was like in the SEC now. They took on Ripple. Were they anticipating such a long and no doubt extremely expensive battle? I can't imagine they were. I mean, my best guess is that they probably would have expected Ripple to settle. Instead, Ripple, very well resourced, have fought it all the way. And here we are, it's been years now, and it's still grinding on. My guess is they'll probably look to go after smaller projects. And I would imagine that Ethereum will be safe because, I mean, for one, it's a question of, well, who exactly do you go after? And also, it would be such a big battle to have to fight. I'm not sure that the SEC would want to do that.
Gareth Soloway and Guy from Coin Bureau give their analysis on the current state of the crypto market and where regulation is headed in the second half of the year. Soloway says that the recent price increase was specific to trusted cryptocurrencies and believes there may be a major breakdown or breakout in the next few weeks. He mentions the importance of not giving in to fear and panic selling, seeing potential long positions in the banking and oil sectors, which have experienced recent drops. He also advises being careful with investing in crypto due to the potential for panic selling during a stock market sell-off, as well as the uncertainty of regulatory frameworks. What do you think about Guy from Coin Bureau and Gareth Soloway's market prediction for the coming weeks? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.